Hi there, I'm RB Kelly. Welcome to your weekly video for your monthly subscription to the Communication Club. Today we're going to talk about the question inflection, and I'm going to model it for you in just a minute, but I want you to listen to my voice. So if I was to ask you a question, what do you want for lunch? Or what's your price? My voice goes up at the end of the sentence, right? What's your price? You hear that? It goes up. Now, this is okay when you're asking a question, but a lot of people use this when they're making a statement. So we'll say, my price is $2,000, or we'll say, I'd love to work with you, or we'll say, I feel very strongly about this. And we turn these statements into questions. And this lets the other person know we're not 100% certain about what we said. Now, I've noticed women tend to use this to soften their criticisms. So we might say something like, the other dress was more flattering, or we might say something like, I wish we spent more time together, or we might say, let's see. We just say it to soften our criticism, or maybe we're making a request we feel is being a little too much, so we'll say, I hope it's not too much of a hassle. And we'll turn these reasonable statements, reasonable requests into questions. And that is the last thing you want to do, particularly in sales. You don't want to do it anytime you're trying to stand your ground or appear as a confident, authoritative expert. You want to use the opposite of the question inflection. Instead of your sentences going up at the end, you want them to go down. And this is something, when I was working a lot with Think Tech, and I had my own show there, I also was called in on Saturdays to read the teleprompter script for their news shows every weekend. And I worked with the producer there, and he would have me say things over and over and over again until I got it just right. And he used to be in radio. He had one of those good radio voices, and he'd also been in TV for decades. And so he was where I learned that this is not only useful, it's not only useful like among body language experts, it's not only useful in sales, this is something they use on television. It's something they use in radio. And what it means is that at the end of every sentence, you go down. And I've done it a few times, so I want you to listen to my pitch. And we'll see you next week. And this is how it sounds. And you can hear it goes da-da-da-da-dum. And you want to end on that lower voice tone, because that sounds like you're serious. It lets people know that is the last thing I'm saying. And it lets people know you're coming to an end. So if, for example, you had two people who were talking to each other, person A is talking, and all of their sentences sound like this, and everything they say sounds like uptalk, and they always speak with a question inflection. What they're saying is not only is it a question mark, it sounds like they're going to keep going. Like if you're going up on something, it means you've got more to say. Either it's a question or it's like a run-on sentence that you're going to follow up later. So you want to use the authoritative voice tone to come down at the end of your sentence. And it not only sounds more capable, sounds more credible, it also lets the other person know that not only do you believe what you're saying, but once you come to an end and then pause, it lets them know they're okay to go ahead and speak. I will see you next week.